And this time the program will be in English because we have our guest Aki Kakko, who speaks English better than Lithuanian. Hello, Aki.
Hello.
How are you today?
Good, thanks. Yeah, it's very good that it's in English because I have only 4 words that I know in Lithuanian.
Okay, not much.
Not
we'll need more. So Aki is a co-founder of several companies working in HR area. It's Candarine, Joberate, and HRU. Is it right?
Correct.
Yeah. So what do those companies do? Why started with digital?
So if we start from Joberate, where I spend currently most of my time, we focus on quantifying job-seeking behaviors of the global workforce. Sounds quite complicated, so let me try to explain. So what we do is trying to understand who potentially from all the people in the world is trying start to move to another opportunity. So looking for opportunities based on like behavioral analysis, based on social data. So it's gathering a lot of social data and then trying to see when the person is becoming more active as a job seeker based on the behavioral analysis.
Mm-hmm.
Then Candarine, we are a talent engagement agency, so we do many things to help big companies, mainly global companies, to be more relevant for their potential job seekers. So help them with employer branding, to talent attraction campaigns, as well like improve the processes that they have related to talent acquisition.
Mm-hmm. So is it related somehow with digital? Because there are many
yes.
HR companies who help with those things like process and so on. So what is your role there?
Yeah,
your company role there?
Yeah. So we are not a recruitment agency. We actually had a recruitment agency where this is a spin-off company from. But it's purely looking at like what you can do from the attraction perspective better and how the process supports it. So we look like how the career side works, how the all the channels from the candidate experience perspective supports experience and especially digital experience that helps your job seeker to understand better like why to join your company, and as well then help them to apply, but as well not only apply, collect leads like you would do in any marketing and sales process, and transform it really from very traditional like post and pray and then apply process to like digital marketing process.
Great term, post and pray. and okay, so I understand that you have the different digital competences your company has, and when your customers are mainly old school companies who've been working with all processes, and you now teach them how to work in a new way. Yeah, there's a lot of education that needs to go there. Like, of course, the market is helping them to already realize that they have a problem, especially in certain sectors where there's really very difficult to hire, and they have many loops and hoops that the candidates needs to go through, and then they don't really have any other choice than use external parties to hire for them, and that's very expensive. So they really like now start to think, okay, what we can do differently, how we can be the employer of choice, and how we can help the people to understand why they should join, produce content that is interesting for the job seekers, not only the ones that are active, but as well the people that are not yet looking for a job. So it's really applying like inbound marketing tactics to normal digital marketing tactics. Mm-hmm. And the third company, HRU?
Yeah, so HRU is almost like an educational platform. So we are a global HR community. So we organize a lot of events where we talk about these things to HR people to raise awareness. So we try to help them to see what is their next in HR. Not necessarily talk about the best practices, but more like next practices, mm-hmm. And support like mindset of experimentation. Because if you think HR person, traditionally they have joined the HR because they maybe like people, they don't necessarily like digital marketing, they don't necessarily like analytics. Mm-hmm. So we need to try to get them to be more aware where the HR need to be competence-wise as well, tool-wise, and the HR is a great platform to do that.
Mm. So more and more HR people say to me that they should educate themselves because more going to digital processes move to digital. And all those 3 companies are located here in Lithuania as well?
We have some operations here as well in all of the 3 companies.
All 3 companies in operation. Okay, and what's your personal role here in those companies?
So in Jobrate, I'm head of our corporate development. So we work with partners, with clients. It's quite wide role what relates to how do we get the business forward. So that's my role there. And then in Candarine, I'm not like currently operational there, so I'm more as a chairman, but of course support as well, especially from the thought leadership perspective, educate the teams and try to get them to see where the global HR market is going.
And all those people based in Vilnius, in Lithuania? So
from the Jobrate perspective, all of our business development is the US, so it's as well US company. So we have a branch here, and mainly we do product development here. As well, some of our admin functions are here. From the Candarine perspective, I would say it's even though legally it's a Finnish company, it is actually a Lithuanian company because most of our people are here as well, business development, marketing, development.
Okay, and today's topic is mainly about to find out why foreign companies try to look for talents here in Lithuania and not in other countries. We have cheaper countries in Europe, like Bulgaria and Romania, or maybe if you have a main office of Jobrate in US, why not in the US? So why did you choose Lithuania as a country for expansion or hiring people?
Yeah, I have been asked this question many times, and I don't know whether the answer is always even the same, but it's quite complex. That probably and there's some part of as well that is maybe by chance. But let's say we were looking when we had operations in Finland where we could have the next office, where we could hire a little bit more, where the availability of the talent would be better, and as well the cost would support us then to maybe have a little bit more people comparing to what we had in Finland with the same cost. The cost was not only part of it, it was more like availability of people at the time. It was an issue in Finland. So as well, we wanted to build something that is a little bit diverse from the culture perspective. So instead of having very similar kind of people from similar culture, we as well hired a lot of people, foreigners in our Finnish office, and then we started to look, okay, where do we expand next? Actually, we started from India, so we set up a shop in Pune. Hired the team there, went there, trained them. We didn't really see that to work well for us, so we ended that experiment in a couple of months, and then started to look within the Europe where the working culture would be more similar.
Yeah.
And we looked other places. We had one Lithuanian person as well in our office in Finland, and we ended up then to choose Lithuania over many other options that we had for multiple reasons. We actually got some support. We got a free office space here and help in a few other ways from the Lithuanian government. So that was great.
But I always hear the same story when I ask this question. I know many companies like this saying that we had one or two good guys in our team from Lithuania, and we saw why not in Lithuania? They're so good employees, and why not to choose them?
And I had full trust on her, and the decision was done then easily because of that, and as well she was managing the team in India, so I wanted to help to release that pain in a way. It was actually really difficult for us to manage because of different working culture and mindset and all this. And in comparing to Nordics to Baltics, at least you have a similar kind of work ethics. So you don't have to micromanage. You have people you can build a self-organized teams instead of building a hierarchical organizations.
Finland and Lithuania were in a way similar because you have probably the highest percentage in Europe of people with highest education.
Yeah.
And in Lithuania it's also maybe second or third, I don't know, in Europe.
Yeah.
But you still say that you lack people, they're not available in Finland.
Well, let's say there is people everywhere. Then you look what kind of people you want to have in your team. And there's good and bad in economies like Finland that has done well the recent years, already quite long actually. Well, currently it's not that much doing well, but still, let's say what I've found a little bit annoying in Finland and currently employing people there is that some of the people might be a little bit spoiled as well. Like they don't necessarily have the hunger anymore. Not all of them, but some people tend to be
in comfort zone.
Yeah, a little bit on. You don't necessarily have to work in Finland. You get the benefits from the government as well, and there is.
Don't listen to that.
Yeah,
too many people emigrate from Lithuania.
Yeah. Well, I would say that for that there are so many opportunities all around the world, and especially here now, because the things that you can do here, you can do a lot of things faster. Because when you have a smaller size of a country, city, whatever it is, company, it's just like the progress can be really fast. And Lithuania has the opportunity to go beyond the Nordic countries, like Estonia in many ways already has done. Because of the scale. Because if you change few people in the decision, even in government, you can really drive the change very fast.
Yeah, so you need just several phone calls.
Yeah,
all is running. Yeah.
And you don't have the unions as you have in Nordics that are actually pushing back every change. Lithuania has a great chance on making changes.
Okay, even Barclays Bank, we know a story that it started. Lithuanian history of Barclays Bank started from one person who convinced that it would be a good move to move to Lithuania.
Yeah, everything starts from small. We hired 4 people. I actually, at the time, have never been visiting Lithuania before.
Really?
And we had 4 people here before I was here, even visiting it. So, it was very interesting.
So you really like a risk?
Well, I trust the person who was managing it, so it was a Lithuanian person, so I didn't need to do that. The risk was fairly minimal compared to Indian operations that we had before.
Okay, and how many marketing people do you have in your Lithuanian offices?
So now the marketing people we have are all in Candarine. We have a team of 4 people there, and we are looking at to grow that. But as well, our customer success team is, I would say, not that far from marketing team either, because they're client facing. They are more like a delivery focused, but still they do a lot of things that you could say that are
sales too, or just account
sales, marketing, account management, just customer support. So it's a mix of tasks that I would say is very near to marketing, because if you don't treat your current customers well, I mean, you don't have a foundation to do anything in terms of attraction new customers. So I would say that as well, if you put that customer success team, it's near to 10 people that we have in marketing role.
I know that you work with quite big companies, so you can't find thousands of big companies. So you should treat every customer as your best customer.
Yeah.
And okay, so you
even if you, I don't think it's different. If you work with one customer, small customer, you still need to create the evangelist. You need to get word of mouth. You have to treat them well. Otherwise, there is no business fundamentals that you can build on.
True. Okay, and you said that you will expand this team of marketing. So how many people do you plan to have in marketing and overall in Lithuanian offices?
Well, I would say that we are for sure going to expand, and it will happen more organically. So we will expand when we have more client project coming in. Currently, it looks very positive. So maybe we hire at least 2 to 3 people. Currently, we are hiring, and after summer, then look again, maybe similar amount of people.
So you have this. Marketing people, customer care, and you also mentioned development. How many people from other areas do you have in total?
Yes, so we have a development team in Jobrate that is purely focusing on building a Jobrate product. Then we have a small team as well in Candarine, and we are hiring as well the HRU. Currently, HRU is mainly like events, but we want to digitalize it. So basically, we want to build a community around it, so people can connect not only within the events, but as well before, during, and after. And really, we want to capture the content from it. So we have to build one more team as well for it. So the current team is in total, if we count Candarine for it, it's 5 people. So we need to double the size of the IT as well.
Okay, and in total of 3 companies in the world, how many people? Just to imagine the size of a business.
We are currently in like 30 people. Then we have a quite extensive network of freelancers that we work with like regular basis that are actually working for us almost like all the time. But it's because of the delivery model that we have in Candarine, where we serve like global companies that we cannot serve from here because of the language barriers, for example. We're currently conducting a big project for one company from Netherlands, and it's partly done in India, partly done in China, partly done in US. And within that kind of project, we have to have a scalable delivery mechanism, and then we use contractors in it. And they are managed by our team here in Lithuania.
Okay, so you said you still have a team, part of a team in India or in China?
Well, not as a part, like they are contracted, so not in a way
like freelancers.
Freelancers, yeah, because it's much easier for us to manage instead of like employing them.
Okay, so it's not a big business. Usually, big businesses like Western Union, Barclays, and Danske Bank, we try to open branches in cheaper countries, try to look for talents there and compete for those talents. But your business are quite small. How come you think that distribution of small offices is good?
Well, you want to add most value with like least amount of people to the economy. I think like that's like unless you're outsourcing company, and we are not outsourcing company. So the overall like increasing the headcount shouldn't be anybody's like the common goal, because you're adding just fixed cost without having necessarily like anything to support it. So I think like anybody building companies today shouldn't focus on headcount, but the added value that you can do for a client. That's like minimum amount of people in your payroll. If you think like Uber, how many people they have in their payroll? Of course they have lots, but it's a massive company already, and they will use as well a lot of contractors. So I think like building companies nowadays needs to look what is kind of available resource-wise and use them wisely.
And when did you launch your first Lithuanian office?
It was 2011, so already 5 years ago.
5 years ago. Okay, and how to evaluate from perspective of today's perspective?
It has been very good for us. Like in terms of ease of operation, it has been really good, because again, the people that we have hired, they have been really well, not everybody, but let's say 90% of the people that we have hired have been really good fit, and as well, as I said earlier, very similar to my background and my working culture. So it's easy to work with people that are kind of wired similar way, because then you don't have to you can trust them, because like culture of trust is the fundamental part of any culture, and then you can build on top of it. So you don't have to micromanage people. You can actually allow them to do what needs to be done, and support that.
So comparing with other companies, you probably shouldn't have a big turnover of people, because you're good in hiring. yeah. Well, let's say there's always like things that influences it. We have as well. We started these operations that are now 3 companies from having a recruitment agency in Finland, and they're all spin-off companies. We have needed to restructure the companies as well. We have hired new CEO for operate when we spin it off, and then establish that company to be a US entity. So there has been a lot of changes as well, and of course you have turnover risk plus turnover when you do like that kind of changes, because people's role will change, the whole company will change, company culture will change because you change the management of the company. But I don't think it's always bad, because then it's opportunity as well to build something that is new and more better for the situation that you have in hand. And as well, like company culture needs to evolve, people needs to change, because the company is in different different evolutional stage. Okay. So what competences do you need from your marketing employees? You said you have 4 now in Candarine.
Yeah.
So what are the roles and what competences we should have?
So of course you have the tactical part of marketing that is actually pretty easy. You have to run campaigns, you have to know how to manage it, you can get certified. But then what I think is the lack overall, not even Lithuanian related, is that you have to be really interested in the problems that the client has. You actually have to have that first in mind.
It's like a consultancy attitude, consultant attitude, like you see current situation and you should immediately get ideas how to change and improve processes.
improve processes, but as well the person who we are selling to, not only the company, but you have to understand the person, like motivation, like why would that person do something, and what is the not only the company level problem, but as well for that person, and it's not always aligned. Okay. So that first of all you need to care, and then you have to be having enough background from the industry so understand.
So it should be quite universal people who know about how to plan campaign, how to deliver that campaign, how to measure effectiveness, and on the other hand also salesperson qualities.
Yeah, and I think like I'm a big believer in inbound marketing, because again, like if you educate especially when you do something new, it's very difficult to sell anything new if you don't do a lot of educational content, and then try to get them the clients to actually consume the content, to understand like, okay, well, I have this kind of problem, yeah, I might be looking for a solution that is something like that. But like for us, because we do like quantifying job seeking behaviors of the global workforce, nobody will search for it ever. Yeah. So we have to start with, okay, maybe you have a retention problem, maybe you have a hiring problem, then you have to start educating, okay, how we could help in that problem. But you cannot really do a lot of tactical marketing from the standpoint of just optimizing for like certain keywords or like that. You have to educate the client.
And I see that your employees also prepare content themselves. They publish articles and you distribute those articles. So on the top of all these competencies, they should be quite content writers.
Well, we use as well contractors to do that for us, so it's not purely done by us internally, but of course like we try to source as much as we can ideas from our team, because they are in touch with the clients, they understand okay, what are the problems that the client has, and then based on that we can create content that is addressing those wherever the client is in the life cycle. If it's a discovery, you have it more wider. If it's like really like already looking at different solutions, you can as well have there some call to actions to actually reach out to us. But like it's very important to get the people in your team to at least think of it, like, and then provide ideas, and then of course the ultimate stage is that they actually become writing about it and sharing ideas and educating the customers.
So what digital marketing channels do you use for Candarine?
Well, our kind of DNA is in social media, so we really like use that heavily. When we started to shift and spin off companies from the recruitment agency, it was all around like using social media. So, and if you think like JobRate currently, it's basically doing a lot of behavior analysis based on massive amount of social data. So we kind of always look social first and what we can do there. And it's something that is kind of like still underutilized, I think, because there is so much like not only like information about people, but as well behavioral information. So you understand like what are the interests, what are the where is the stage of the potential customer based on the behavioral analysis. So yeah, social is our kind of main. So you can like channel-wise think of LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, all the niche channels. In Candarine we have used for our clients more than 16,000 different social channels, or let's say niche channels. So some of them are like, let's say you need to reach people who are alumni from Harvard. Well, there is a crew for that, so you can tap into that. And we do that also for our clients, so understand where the audiences are, and then selecting the tools and the channels based on where the audience is.
So theory of content marketing says that you spend as much resources for distribution, like for creation. So do you keep this rule, or maybe even more spend on distribution?
Internally, probably 50-50. For our clients, we are actually doing like more distribution campaigns than we do content creation campaigns. So I would say that like, if I would need to choose distribution or content, I would do the distribution, because it's kind of irrelevant to have the content if it's not distributed to anybody.
Of course.
So, but again, like if you don't have content, what do you distribute? But like it's often now when companies are realizing that the content marketing is the way go forward, and this in inbound marketing, they invest too much to the content and just overlook the distribution part.
We just think that we will post on their
they don't
social network.
Yeah, it takes, like, of course you can increase your like organic reach as well, but if you look how the social media channels as well are like reinventing ways to hide our content if you don't pay for it, it's not easy game to just rely on organic reach. It's always good to use like all the possible ways of expanding the distribution.
Okay, so from what you say, I see already that there are quite many competencies what your team should have, but are there some competencies where you can't find in Lithuania what you lack?
Well, again, like it's probably the mindset of being more interested in the client problem than being interested in tactical marketing. Because again, if you have a person who is capable of using computer and very keen to learn, there's so much like content available about marketing that you can train those skills pretty fast. So I think like and it's not Lithuania related, I see it everywhere. Like people just need to be more focused on the client and the problem of the client, and then build around it instead of building around, okay, what do we have? Like what is the product that we have? And then building a list of features and trying to get the people to be interested in that. You have to
mainly solution-oriented, customer-oriented, and not process-oriented.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense when you say it like that, but like it's not obvious for all the marketers. So like people tend to like to promote their products, which is not interesting for the client. Well, it's interesting in the states where the client already chose to use the tool that you have built, kind of tool that you have built. It's very late in the customer journey. So when you are looking for digital marketing people in Lithuania, so do you use all your scientific methods to research who is looking for a job, or you just do it for your customers but you don't use it yourself? Well, let's say that we use some, we don't use all. It's as well market specific what we do with our clients. So sometimes we do and recommend our clients to do things that are not necessarily cutting edge because of the material of the market is not there. In Lithuania we use also heavily, we use as well job boards for it. So it's not that we don't think that there's any effectiveness in the ways that have been working before. It's like there's now other ways as well that you should explore, and you should really maximize the ways to maximize the results as well.
So did you ever use some original, unique method in Lithuania for finding your employees, or you just always use just job boards and you get employees?
Well, the social, again, it's always the first and the starting point for us. So we do a lot of like social distribution campaigns, of course, for our own hiring. But as I said, like it's not that we don't use any traditional ways. Have we done anything that would be something that would be a good case study? Maybe not. Like we tend to find, like it's quite interesting still. There's like still companies that are like very locally managed, not very international, so we get quite a nice good quality candidates when we are looking for, so it's not like a huge problem.
Okay, but so why when people choose your company?
Well, the reasons probably are, first of all, it's international, it's managed in a way that it's not like a very hierarchical, but as well...
So do we know that in advance?
Well, of course, we try to educate them, like as well by sharing content that is about our working culture and how it is to work with us. But as well, with very minimal research, you can find some things that we kind of do that are the ones that are interesting. I'm not saying that we are the only one here doing it. There's a lot of companies that are doing it similarly, but as well there's a lot of companies that aren't yet, and from those more traditional companies it's easier to hire. As well, what we have seen is a lot of people that are currently studying or moved abroad are currently looking for opportunities here because they want to move back, and they don't want to go back to the companies that are more local. They want to keep working in English, for example. They want to work in the international team. And that's quite interesting because it didn't happen, let's say, 2 to 3 years ago. Now it starts to be more and more.
Okay, interesting. And what tools do you use for your marketing efforts?
Well, we have used lots of different tools, from like very, very point solutions, like for email marketing, from MailChimp to actually even MailerLite, that is the local one. But we are now moving to HubSpot, so trying to centralize all of that to one marketing automation platform. Just because it's much easier to work when you have one centralized place for all the data, including CRM, including like mail campaigns. Everything is one. So we are now actually going towards it. So it's not implemented yet, but it's something that we are going from point solutions to one centralized platform.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask about this nurturing customers. Do you also use those tools? So probably if with HubSpot you will start doing, if you still don't do it.
Well, we have done it, but it has been a little bit difficult because like you have CRM in different place, then you have emails in different place, you have your website tracking in different place, and then you try to integrate all of that. But it's still, even you can integrate it, most of those tools have open APIs, so you can do that. It's still different than building it within one system, and that's where we see the big benefit to be, because then you can build a lot of automated processes as well and workflows. That is like having it from marketing to passed on to sales, and as well like understanding what all the actions were that led to the person become a prospect instead of like just having it in a separated system.
So could you name some figures? What part of your customers become customers because of sales efforts, and what part because of digital marketing?
So it's always a good question, and it's always hard to answer it exactly.
Because gut feeling.
And as well, not everything is transactional. There's a lot of marketing specialisms also that is influencer. Like you influence people, but as well, sometimes you need to get them over the fence by actually talking to the client.
Yeah.
Especially in our deal size are like we are not selling like small deals. It's sometimes it's tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands, and to actually get the client to buy online, that is not possible. But is there marketing that can influence the client to actually trust us enough? First of all, you have to get the permission to talk to them even, and marketing plays a role in that, because you have to build awareness. You have to get them to understand that we are trustworthy enough even to have a discussion with. And then as well, when they go to the discovery stage, they need to understand, okay, we are actually the right one to solve this problem, not only educate the client. So, and marketing plays a lot of role in that.
And how do you measure effectiveness of all those activities? Some KPIs, what you follow?
No, like of course we try to measure, but like sometimes the measurements are done to optimize certain part of the process. Especially when you have a lot of systems, and you don't have like a holistic view on it. And that's why we chose to as well move to something that is more comprehensive and more one platform instead of several, because you can optimize certain things here, and then think that there's a lot of effect, and then optimize something here, and then realize that actually we don't know what was the overall impact of this. And especially when you do a lot of things to influence people, that's harder to measure. When you have an online web shop, which we don't have, it's much easier to do that. Like if your whole process is online, of course it's much easier to measure.
So could you name some exact KPIs, what you see working best for you?
Well, amount of leads, quality of leads, because then like those things
how do you measure quality?
We measure, well, we have our own like rating for them, like what kind of company they are, what is the title of the person, so we understand whether they're kind of the buyer persona that we are looking at. And that's kind of the main what we look. But of course, then based on when the person goes more into the process, we understand like as well, like whether they are actually like potentially interested in buying.
And what do you think about paid social network advertising, like on Facebook? Maybe not, but maybe on LinkedIn, where you can target specific titles.
It's very, very effective, and we use Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. I love Twitter cards for lead capturing. They work really well, especially in the US. slide share is actually something that I'm currently looking more and more, because it's part of integrated part of LinkedIn now, and you can actually showcase things there better than in some other platforms. And as well, it has a lead capturing option.
So do you use this lead capturing?
We have used it, yeah, but not like it's more has been experimental, and the result has been pretty positive. So I think spending wise, it will be one of the channels to invest more.
So have you tried in LinkedIn just simple ads, or also maybe LinkedIn Accelerator, which is combined with marketing automation? Yeah, so our background and the relationship that we have had with LinkedIn was actually that we were reselling them in Finland. So we have been really close to LinkedIn. So we have used everything that LinkedIn has in terms of whether for ourselves or client, at least their experimental way. Whenever they roll out something new, I'm for sure one of the first to look into it and see what it can be done. Sometimes we are not anymore in the partner program because we are not anymore like serving clients in Finland that much. But still, I'm getting updates as well on what is upcoming because of the past relationship that we had. And LinkedIn is interesting. It's overhyped in some sense as well, because if you analyze a little bit further, that we as well do like how active people there actually are, you realize that the people who are very active are recruiters, and then who are not very active, for example, are IT people. So it really depends again, like what do you want to achieve, what is the target audience, then you have to pick the channel. If you want to, for example, target on IT people, you have to go to Stack Overflow, you have to go to GitHub, you have to go to places where those people actually are. Okay, so you mentioned two KPIs like number of leads and quality of leads, but what about the price of the lead? Because, for example, LinkedIn, it's quite expensive channel and not many companies use it because of this. What about HR area?
Well, LinkedIn doesn't provide you well, depends on what you do, but like if you like promoted post, for example, or promoted content, you don't get leads from it. It's just a conversion to your website, and then you need to convert that to be a lead. So it's, well, of course you can measure it and how much it is, but as well then the website plays a role, so it's not only LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very targeted, and you can do a lot of stuff. And if you would to have possibility to do like something like Twitter cards in LinkedIn, I think it would be really interesting. Of course you have to look those numbers as well and to see, depending on what kind of business you are, what makes sense for you to pay. Like if your average deal size is 200 euros, you cannot pay that much, but if your average deal size is tens of thousands, then it's very different.
And you mentioned the Twitter cards. So Twitter is not popular in Lithuania, so could you tell a bit how does it work? What is this Twitter cards?
Yeah, it's interesting when you say that Twitter is not that popular in Lithuania, while it is actually used in Lithuania by certain kinds of people that they are actually very interesting audience, because it's often the people that are very early adopters, maybe like creative industries, and then people always go with this number, like now we need to go to Facebook because there's billions of people, now we need to go to LinkedIn because there's 400 million people. We don't go to Twitter because there's only 100,000 people, but actually there's 100,000 people. So like you have to again firstly see, okay, what is the audience and where you can engage them best. And Twitter is less noisy as well because it's not used by marketers that much. So I would say Twitter is awesome channel in Lithuania because not all the marketers are pushing the prices up. Plus actually there is certain kind of people that you want to engage with. So from the hiring perspective, for example, Twitter is awesome channel to be used. Twitter card is basically something that you can embed to your promoted tweet, and with one click you get the email address of that person. So it's very good for lead generation, and you pay per lead, not per click.
It's very good. We should think about efficiency of those efforts. Maybe Twitter could be also efficient channel for Lithuania, but if you choose just your one niche, it could be not enough audience, just not worth spending your time.
Yeah, it really depends what you do.
Many companies they don't use segmentation for email marketing, just because if we segment, efficiency is very high, but the scope of the campaign is too small.
And it depends on the competencies that you have. What is this level of sophistication of overall efforts that you do for marketing? Of course, you can do TV campaigns if you want. Like, it's fine, but again, like, there's so many different ways currently available. So if your marketing team is not educating themselves about these ways, and as well sometimes pushing back if they like see that there's actually better ways, they have done the research, they have found the audience like in other ways, and segmented and proposing that, hey, this is the way forward. I think then it's
okay. And so would you suggest for your clients who need to higher efficiency in terms of human resources to move the office to Lithuania and look for people here?
Well, for us, we may even like consider building teams for our clients. Like now, like from the Candarine perspective, we have traditionally do like more of projects, but we are like looking at as well whether we could build the teams for our clients for talent acquisition purposes. So the marketing part, marketing part. So basically not doing anything related to hiring, but just help them to transform from a traditional transactional process that very use a lot of job board, job search ends into much more like inbound methodology, and as well much more content driven. Of course, you have to have the tactical part on top of it, but really change the foundation to be around what is interesting for your target audience, and then start as well from the kind of, okay, this is the kind of thing that they are interested not only when they're looking, but as well as professionals. So it can be more career oriented, it can be more educational. But like, of course, they could do it by themselves, but when we already have operations here, we could as well manage it for them and build dedicated teams.
So you know what competences those marketing people should have, so your customers should see the value in recruiting and managing those teams by you.
Well, many like depending on the company. So often there's probably here locally there's like HR director who is leading the talent acquisition team as well. In many bigger organizations, you have the talent acquisition like a resource director or the director, and then the recruitment team under it. So the HR is kind of like separated from it. If that's the case, then you already have often some level of marketing competencies in the team, but especially in the companies where it's still managed by the HR director, the marketing is not their core competence by any means. And why they become HR director is not because they're good in marketing or analytics. And in that kind of case, they don't necessarily, naturally, they are not able to build the team, and they need support on doing that.
It's funny to hear. HR director can build a team. Of course, we can check professional competences. It's why you step in.
They don't have the right mindset for it. It's not that they cannot hire the even like of course, when you're wired, like many HR functions as well, they are very compliance driven. So they are looking at like risk, like how to avoid risk. Marketing shouldn't do that. Like the whole mindset should be very different. And if it's then managed by the person who is like very risk averse instead of opportunistic, it's not working.
So why do you think other companies choose Lithuania as the country of expansion or country for looking for talents?
Well, I haven't done much interviewing for people, but like I would say from my perspective, it's good location for smaller companies, not necessarily like Oracles and IBMs of the world. And because it's like if you think of the size, of course you're gonna hire 1,000 people, but it changes whole economic here. Like if you set up a shop here, you hire 1,000 whatever IT people or customer service people, you change the whole like business because of it, which you don't necessarily want to do if you have option to do it in Krakow, or you want Warsaw or Bucharest, where you have just way much more scale in terms of potential employees. So, and because of that, I think more and more bigger companies are not going to establish here. They're like more small and medium size. and then you don't have to compete with Oracle's, IBM's, and you can compete with the kind of in a league that you can compete. So my recommendation would be maybe more for smaller companies to look here when they are in the kind of scaling up stage, that they need to hire maybe tens or hundreds of people, not necessarily thousands of people.
Okay, so what would be your tips or tricks for companies who would want to open offices here and hire people?
You have to be here. I mean, wherever I see the like, okay, let's just outsource something, or let's just open up office somewhere, and you don't have the leadership dedicated for it, that they actually want to do that and they want to spend time in that country, forget it. It will be a disaster. Like you have to be there. You have to be enough time spending with the team, building a culture. If you don't have a commitment to do that, it's just waste of time.
So it's just not enough to hire local team leader who collects a team. There should be company culture installed somehow through the bearer of this culture.
Yeah, and it has to be from, depending on the company size, of course, like, but preferably from the either leadership team or founding team, better founding team than leadership team. If it's a hired person or person who has built the baby, it's much better to have the person who has. It's kind of their passion, and then the success rate is much higher if you do that. If you hire somebody, still you need to spend time like with that person and support that person, and then
this culture is very, very important. I remember I was visiting one fintech company in Helsinki, headquarters, and the head of the board of his company said, "Oh, I will make coffee for you." And he went to coffee machine making coffee for me. And, it's imaginable that it could happen like this in Lithuania, where that Lithuanian head of the board would make a coffee for a guest or for an employee. would be like a secretary who should prepare coffee. So it's this also culture, it's attitudes.
It is. But what I see here more and more is that it's kind of like when you have a new company, it's not like that anymore. It's not like secretaries running with the coffees. But of course you have those companies as well, but they're good targets to hire from.
Okay, and we have a question from the audience. Do you have any tips for hiring employees from foreign countries, especially from the newer countries like China, India?
If this is to getting them here or just hiring them there, it's probably a different question, but like to hire them here, it's much easier to actually hire like from any country to country. Like if you need to relocate people, you have to kind of have the like already existing, again depending on the scale. If you want to hire one person, just you can reach out to the person, you can influence them, you can spend a lot of time, and you can get them to come. But if you need to do 100 people, then you need to look, okay, what is the community already that they are locally that they can be part of? So if you already have a lot of people from China, it's much easier for them to come here because they can ask around from the local people here that already have the experience and they have moved here. So you can like use that natural already existing flow of people and then accelerate it by creating, for example, country level promotion. So why you should move to Lithuania overall? Like Lithuania is not in top of mind. So if somebody will search to relocate, they don't even think of Lithuania.
Yes.
They think of New York, they think of London, they think of other places. So you're not appearing in the search results. So you need to get like more like country promotion for being able to people to even think of Lithuania as an option. So you have to influence lots personally now if you would to do that.
Yeah, so you're right. I would ask the first question from the person who asked why India and China, because now this Invest Lithuania company, you probably you know them. So we're working with attraction of companies coming to Lithuania, but now they face total opposite problem, that we lack of talent, lack of employees.
Yeah.
And now we start a program to attracting talents from other countries, but we don't look to India, we don't look to China, we look mainly to Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, Georgia. So the countries with similar mentalities, similar mindsets. And those people, they search for employment in Lithuania. Of course, mainly truck drivers, but
I would challenge that as well. You think that they are, but they actually aren't. So if we had events as well in Kiev, in Minsk, and all these places within HR people, within IT people. So we understand that actually there is so much options for these people. Like if you make a move, it's not different to make a move to Lithuania than it is to UK. Or Germany, or Helsinki, or even US if you are sponsored. So like if we think here locally that they will, because of the proximity, Lithuania is a good option. No, not going to happen. You have to really promote it in a way that it actually is comparable to the promotion that others have and the big brand that they have as a cities.
I've been doing a keyword research, looking how many people from those countries are looking for employment opportunities here. So not much, like all those 4 countries together, which I mentioned. About 1,000 searches per month, exact searches like employment in Lithuania. But of course, most of them are like simple workers, like drivers, and cooks, and so on. Not marketing people and again, programmers.
If you look then where the influx of people goes to, where they currently go, that's more likely the place where they go as well going forward. So if you look where the people from Ukraine are moving to, as well like where the people from Lithuania are moving to, but it's actually a very funny discussion, because wherever you go in the world, everybody is like, okay, how do we attract more people here? I don't know where those people will come from eventually, because everybody is like, even in Ukraine. So in Ukraine, they are looking at more of the Central Asia, like Georgia, Azerbaijan, and all those places that I cannot even pronounce. But like if everybody, and especially in China, as well as India, everybody is looking for how do we get more people to come to move there. So maybe we should start caring about people who you have here better first as the foundation. How do we make them to stay? How do we make them to promote the country as well? It's almost same as like we talk to our clients as employer branding. Employer branding starts from within instead of like, okay, it's something external. Actually, it starts within. Like we have to care about the people that you currently have. Same as here. Don't look externally, look internally first. Stop the retention issue first, so you don't have the hiring issue.
Always the same with the customers, the employees that we start looking for. We look for new, we think that they will be better, and don't care much about existing. Okay, so our time is running out. Thank you very much for the discussion. Do we have any more questions? I don't see any more. So you still may ask if you have questions. If not, so thank you very much, Aki.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for watching, and see you all tomorrow in Login Conference. Goodbye.
Bye.